Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Coach Deborah G. Smith and my special guest, ESTHER Moreno. How are
Hey,
you
how
doing
you
today?
doing? Oh, I'm so good. School
Great.
has started, and I am just so excited with all the mommy joy that one mother can have.
Fun.
No sarcasm in that at all.
I could tell. Well, I am so excited to have Esther back on. It seems like it's been forever, but she is one busy lady, and she's going to tell you all about that before we leave today. But my theme for this month is be on fire. Fire. And that is focusing with intentionality, realism, and enthusiasm. If you're not happy about what you're not doing the right things. You
Amen.
have got to be enthusiastic and enjoy every bit of what you're doing. If not, it's probably time for you to stop and recharge. So that's what we're going to be talking about today is recharge. Because we know in our society today that many individuals wear many different hats. And I say many different. And when you ask somebody today what they're doing, they don't just tell you, well, I'm married and I have 5 children and I work at this place. They tell you a gazillion things. So with those multiple roles, sometimes it can become overwhelming, even though you may be following your purpose and doing those things that you love to do. You still may get burned out, lose focus, what have you, if you're not doing the right thing. So you got to make sure that you are recharged. So if you're
Absolutely.
not, what you got to do? You got to stop, get some alone time or something, prayer, meditation, make some adjustments and refocus and then get it going again.
Yep.
You can't stop, right, Esther?
You cannot stop. I used to work for a preschool a long time ago when I was in college, and I really needed money. And they would always give us advice. They would say, if you get overwhelmed, become a star. And I'm like, what's a star? And they're like, stop, take a deep breath, and relax.
Hey, I love that.
It was difficult to do that when Billy hit you in the leg with one of those vacuum pop toys, but yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah. Well, I said earlier it's been a while since you've been on, but why
I
don't you take
know. I'm so excited to be back.
you're such a busy lady. But so why don't you take time out and tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you like to do, like that sort of
Oh my
thing?
goodness, absolutely. So I am the founder of Child's Heart LLC, which is really dedicated towards training leaders to go forth with a spirit of excellence in how they do children's ministry. Absolutely love that. Super passionate about the next generation and really them knowing Christ. I feel like the world that they're growing up in is so different. The world my children they're growing up in is so different. The challenges that they face, even the conversations that I'm finding that I need to have with my kids that my parents never even had to have with me, because these were things that I learned when I was of age and able to kind of navigate through those things. I'm having to have those conversations with my children, which it just shows how important it is to really invest in children and to do it with a spirit of excellence. So I get to do that. I get to speak all over the country because God has a sense of humor and he uses the foolish things. But I'm so grateful to be used by him. Yeah, so we just go and do so many trainings. I'm the author of now 3 leadership books. If you would have asked me a couple years ago, would I even be an author of anything? I would have laughed. And now I'm the author of 3 leadership books, all on children's ministry. Absolutely love, love, love what I get to do. Deborah, you're talking about hats. I am in probably everything in children's ministry. Maybe you're doing curriculum. I've contributed to that. Just whatever you can think of, I've been a part of, but it has been an incredible joy. Everything that I get to do for the Lord, for Jesus, and for children. So that's a little bit about me.
Excellent. That sounds so exciting.
It is. I went to seminary. And when I went to seminary, I took a lot of classes with senior pastors, pastors of mega churches, but I knew the entire time that I wanted to be in children's ministry. And that was exactly the spot that I wanted to be in. And my identity actually became working within the four walls of one church and one space. So what I do now is just totally outside the box. But Deborah, I know you know that God will take your box that you've already created and decorated, and then he'll shake it up.
Right. Yes, he will. But that is some exciting things. And let's see, Mr. Shaquille Hannah has said, "Hey, Coach Esther." Oh, so this is what I have to do to get you to show up, Shaquille. I thought me and you were tight, man. I got to get Esther on here. What's up with that? So welcome, Shaquille. I saw Anna Santiago and Cynthia Ferguson and Mr. Dan Smith. Thank you all for tuning in. We are going to get started here with Recharge. All right, so we already talked about all these hats, but in the role of mother and wife, business owner, ministry leader, social media professional, all of that takes lots and lots of time.
Yeah, yes.
Not to mention, you do them all at the same time. It's not like, today I can do this and then tomorrow I can do something different. You got to do it all.
Absolutely. And for some reason, Deborah, like my family still wants to eat. And I'm like, don't you know how busy I am? Like, now you want me to make food? Like, what's going on here?
Hey, no. And they say they don't want any to go. They want some home cooked food.
Absolutely.
Yes. But doing all these things and wearing all these hats at the same time, sometimes that can wear on your physical as well as your mental health. Get it all out of whack. So, Esther, we heard you wear many hats. Do you ever get overwhelmed? And if so, how do you get recharged and back on track? And if not, we definitely need to know your secret.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. I definitely have my moments when I get overwhelmed, trying to kind of keep this platform, where I'm trying to keep it. And a lot of people don't know I have a husband who is an attorney in a Fortune 100 company, vice president, so many things that he's carrying. And in the midst of it, we have an 8-year-old and we have an 11-year-old who all need support, whether it's homework help or just anything. So if we are not careful, we can become overwhelmed, which has made our family even more intentional about our schedules and just really us coming together and having those conversations. One of the things we've always promised ourselves was for dinner time. It's so easy for everyone to be all over the place for dinner. But in the Moreno household, we're going to eat dinner together. So that's kind of our time to really come together, to really see, even if our kids are overwhelmed, what's going on with you in school. Because if we're not careful, they'll end up carrying things that we don't know, what's going on with them. And they have little balls of stress that they deal with, even though they're children. They have their own lives and their own journeys that God has given them and is teaching them. So that kind of gives us a way to reconnect. But one of the biggest things that I do when I find myself getting overwhelmed, the first thing that I do is I pull back and I have to just completely reassess. And when I say reassess, that means I look at every area of my life, not just one area, not let me reassess my business, let me reassess this, but I try to look at every area. I'll look at my marriage. I'll look at my role as a mom and how the kids are doing, even academically. I'll look at child's heart, and I'll try to think, what do I need to do to regain my joy? Or maybe it's to regain my peace, because maybe I've given my peace to other people. In my business, people are always trying to reach out and try to get you for this or use you for this. What do I need to do? One of the projects that I did recently, which is why I love being a part of the effective living community with Ricardo Miller, is he had this whole series on declutter. And I knew I had reassessed. I already knew that I needed to declutter in order to gain some peace. Because for me, I'm the type of person I will get overwhelmed if stuff is everywhere.
Mm.
And I have children who do not care about stuff being everywhere. And they put things everywhere. And one of the projects I did, which sounded completely crazy, and my husband laughed so hard because he came home and there was this huge, like, contractor dumpster, like, in our driveway. And I was like, no, I am decluttering because this is what I need to do to get my peace back, you know? So whether it's outsourcing, there are times I have to outsource.
Mm.
We are so overwhelmed with homework time. Yeah, I don't have to be the one to do the homework with the kids. I can outsource that and get a tutor to help. So now both of our kids have tutors. I get overwhelmed with cleaning because I do have a lot of work to do. So now we have a cleaner that we've outsourced who comes into the home, and they'll come and they'll clean every 2 weeks, and they'll scrub down things that I may not scrub down for a year if I'm left to my own devices. So just things like that, just really assessing and saying, honestly, what do you need? Even if it's help in certain areas, what type of help do you need? How can you outsource this? How can you outsource this in a way that's financially responsible, that works with your budget? So just a lot of those things that I really step back and consider when I know that I'm on the edge. And you can tell when I'm on the edge, Deborah, because when I'm on the edge, I am not a nice person anymore. And I'm known for my bubbly character. And when I stop talking and I get cranky, my husband is like, okay.
Oh boy! See, when I get overwhelmed, it's like, oh my goodness, I need a stiff drink. I need a stiff drink, and my stiff drink is a Dr. Pepper. So it's like, we'll make sure she get a cold Dr. Pepper. Put a one in the freezer. Put a one in the freezer.
That was mine. Mine was Coke. And I'm like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I need to have a Coke, you know. So when I'm on a diet, it's just misery on wheels. So it's just better to maintain and try to do everything that I can to not be overwhelmed.
Right. That's good stuff. Well, I see Agnes Copeland has joined us. Thank you so much. And y'all, if y'all have questions for Esther, make sure to put it in the chat, and we will put it up so she can help you out. And comment along the way. We love comments. We love comments, and like and share, because you're gonna get some good tidbits now. You want to like and share. Well, you know, Esther, this is a bad word right here, but we know it always comes up. That's the procrastination.
Yeah, I'm really good at that.
Yeah, and that really takes energy away from people. I call it the
Yeah.
energy thief. But you know, last week in Effective Living, we talked about different tips on mastering, you know, procrastination. We need to stop doing that. But being organized and managing one's time, we found, is very, very helpful. You know,
Absolutely.
you need to find out, first of all, why do you procrastinate? You know, because I don't know. But anyway. So with all your hats, do you work from a to-do list? And if so, does that help you daily? If not, how do you organize and manage to make sure that, you know, you're not getting so overwhelmed all the time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The most effective that I am whenever it comes to anything that I have to do, I'll wake up and I know I have so many things on my plate. One, I do work from a list, because if you don't make a list, you're gonna miss things. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how smart you are or whatever. You're just gonna miss things because life is going to happen. Deborah, life happens to me all the time. 24/7. Somebody needs something. This needs to happen. My husband, just the other day, I was like, okay, because I have calculated. Because now part of my day, 2 hours of my day is staying in the car line, picking up kids across the city of Huntsville. So that's like 2 hours of my day. So now I have to think, when the kids leave for school, I have to consider, okay, how many hours are they gone? All right, because when they come home, my job is over, because they are like monsters. They're really sweet monsters, like Christian monsters, if that was a thing. Like, those are my kids. And they're all over the place. So I have to be so intentional with the couple of hours that I have. And really, when I write things down, there are a lot of times I have to write down the times because my
Mm.
time is so short. So from 8 a.m. to this, I'm gonna read my Bible, to 8:30 or 9. From 9 to 9:30, I'm gonna get in a quick run. From 9:30 to 10, I'm gonna take a shower and get to the library so I can start working on my platform. So I just have to be really intentional in those types of ways to be successful, unless, I mean, things will crumble very quickly in the Moreno household, and a lot of people will become very frustrated in our household when we do not kind of operate off of a list. And things happen, and sometimes I'll make a goal list and I don't reach all the goals. So sometimes out of my 10 goals, the 10th goal is have grace for yourself if you didn't complete all of your goals, and then just add them to the list the next day if need be. But really, working from that list, I'm telling you, because there are days that I wake up and I'm like, I got this. I don't need no list. I know I got to spend most of the day on this, and a part of the day on this, and then I have to do this, and then I'll look when the kids are home and nothing has been done, and for some reason I spent only 15 minutes when I was supposed to spend hours on something, not knowing what happened because I didn't have a list, because I didn't write down the vision of the day. I didn't make it plain, and I am suffering from the consequences of myself.
Yep. It will catch up with you. Yeah, I work from a list, and also, so I got my planner, and then across from me, I have a whiteboard. So I normally put things down. So I had a special meeting yesterday, which was the 8th. I know it was the 8th because that's when my social media starts over every week. So I knew yesterday was the 8th. I knew I had a meeting on the 8th at 12 o'clock. But for whatever reason, it wasn't on that board over there, but I had that the 8th, that meeting was going to be on Tuesday. I just knew it was Tuesday. So I'm on the phone and I'm just talking, and I get this email. It says, "Are you going to be able to join us for the meeting?" Now, the meeting was for me. Yeah, I'll be right on. I'm logging on now. I'm like, hey, can't show you my picture because this is my day I don't get on Zoom. I'm not can't show myself. I had to put my picture up. I'm on.
Deborah, those are the days where, I mean, it is such a reminder of how detailed, even while we're doing these lists, being detailed, because the same thing happened to me just recently. There's a children's ministry that reached out to me. We were planning this big time training. They just started children's ministry. They got a group together. They're super excited. And I didn't pay attention to Eastern time versus Central time. So I'm assuming that every time is my time. And I'm actually on another meeting during that time. So they are sending me messages. My phone is on do not disturb, and they are freaking out like, "Are you okay? Are you coming to this training?" Yeah. So yeah, it definitely happens. So details, it's so important to actually add the details to your calendar as well.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Cynthia. And Cynthia says time will slip
Yep.
away very quickly.
Yes, Cynthia. Yes, it will.
Yes. Because that was too funny. It wasn't funny when it happened, but it was funny. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh boy. So the best of us, as you said, and I just always talk about Esther got it going on. I can't bother Esther because Esther too busy. So I know, how
Oh
things
yeah.
go. But you
Oh yes,
can
Cynthia is
go.
so right. Time will slip away. A kid will wake up sick. Our anniversary was so funny. We had wrote a whole schedule of what we're gonna do. My husband was gonna take off, and while the kids are in school, we're gonna do boom, 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 boom. And my daughter, she said, my back hurts, my neck hurts, and my back hurts. And we're like, go to school. It's our anniversary. Go to school. And we take her to school. We get a phone call. Yeah, your daughter really needs to come home. So all that time slipped away.
Wow. Yep.
So we all had
Life
dinner.
happens.
We all had lunch together, so it was less romantic, but We made it happen.
Made it happen. Hey, you have to do what you got to do. Definitely got to be flexible.
You do. As if you are a definitely a mom, and you are a parent, whoever you are, all parents have to be flexible. I've seen my husband have to do it. I've had to do it. We've had to work together and both be flexible. It's not just on one person. There are times where Grace has soccer over here and Gideon has basketball over here, and if we both gonna make it happen, both parents have to come together. And if you are a single parent, oh my goodness, kudos to you, Deborah. You talk about hats that people have to wear. Like, I cannot imagine having to do already all the things that I have to do, not having an extra parent. So I'm telling you, single parents are superheroes. I don't care. They have a secret cape that's like shoved like in the back of their clothes, whatever outfit they wear. It's there.
You get it done. Yep. Oh, yeah. Cynthia, she's laughing. She's like, the same thing happened to her. Yeah, I remember that, Cynthia. I'm like, Cynthia, you do know it's Eastern Standard Time, right?
And we're like, nope.
I got a cure for that now, Cynthia. I have to tell you about it. Oh boy, this is fun. Oh, okay. A lot of times, huh?
It's always fun with you.
When we get overwhelmed, we can just react in a lot of different ways. We can throw our hands up in despair, or we can make adjustments, or we can just step away and say, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What did you say, star?
Be a star.
So what is your method of recharging to get back on task? Do you have a favorite recharge?
Oh my goodness. I think I do so many things to recharge because life happens. And for me, one of the biggest things that I do to recharge, honestly, and it's not being like overly spiritual, is a lot of times I find when I'm really getting overwhelmed, it's because I've taken my eyes off of Christ. For me, our faith in the Moreno household is everything. Like, it's so easy in ministry, especially with what I do, to replace that with your personal walk with God. Well, I'm doing ministry and I'm reaching children and leaders across the country, and that's ministry, and I'm doing that for Jesus. But you need to have your own intimate relationship outside of all of that. And a lot of times I find I'm overwhelmed because I don't have my eyes on Jesus. Like, in some way, and all the duties and the tasks and obligations and deadlines that I have taken my eyes off of him. I have stopped really meditating on my word. Maybe I read my word, but I read it really fast as a checklist because I'm a Christian. I'm supposed to do it. I am not as enthusiastic maybe about going to church. Or maybe that Sunday I decided I just need a break. I'm overwhelmed. I'm going to sleep in. There's all types of things that the enemy just loves to throw at you, to pull you away from God, because he knows he's the source. If you want the energy, if you want to be recharged, you got to go to the source, because the source will lead you even to earthly things that you need to do to improve things. I've had the Holy Spirit drop things into my spirit, like, Esther, you need to do this. Esther, you need to go to sleep. Esther, you need to bump everybody and take a nap. But I needed to hear that. I needed to take the time to spend with God. So for me, I'll tell you, Jesus is how I recharge. It's how I focus, making sure that spiritual is on point. Health is another huge one, Deborah. Taking care of my health, and eating right. I think we forget that we only get one body, and when it's gone, it's gone. I've had friends who have passed on and their journey is over, but ours is not. And if we want to really carry out the assignment that God has given us, we have got to use the wisdom that God has given us to make sure that our diets are nutrient rich, to make sure that in terms of cardiovascular, that's on point, because we're working out, we're taking care of ourselves. Like, there is no shortcut. And I think that we tell ourselves, or we believe these fake marketing ads that if you take this pill or if you do this diet, you were supposed to eat right and you're supposed to work out. Working out sucks. It just does. But you're supposed to do it. You know,
Right.
I sometimes I'd rather eat donuts for dinner, but I need to have a well balanced meal because it's taking care of these temples that God has given us. So, real, I find if I eat bad like all week, I will feel bad and I will become overwhelmed because I have this task to do, but I feel bad and I don't want to do it. And now the enemy comes in and now he's messing with my motivation. And then he's coming in because I felt bad and I'm in a vulnerable spot to say, see, you couldn't do this anyway. Why are you doing this? And because everything's out of whack, because I'm not handling my business on the health and nutrition. Sleep is another one.
Yeah.
Deborah, getting enough sleep. If I do not sleep, I would turn into a zombie. And it is misery on wheels. I hear motivational speakers say, "Oh my goodness, what is sleep? I don't sleep." I'm like, "You are crazy." I need sleep. I mean, if I don't sleep, I am done. I have curriculum to accompany because I help to write curriculum. It is due today. I was trying to work on it yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna get all this done. And my body was like, really? We about to go to sleep. My husband was like, are you okay? And there are times you just have to submit and say, you know what, this is gonna be better when I wake up in the morning and I get a good night's rest. But yeah, just really doing that and setting boundaries with people. Set
Yes.
the boundaries because people will take you to the brink and you will fall off the cliff and they're like, oh, that is so sad. What happened to them?
Sure.
Yeah. And it's all because you didn't set boundaries. And that was another huge thing that I have to do. Sometimes what I do, I have to say no to beautiful things. I mean, things that I may have always wanted to do, but it's just not the right time or the right season. And I have to say no and set boundaries. I can't collaborate with everybody. I can't because I know if I don't set boundaries, it is going to affect my life. It's going to affect my life with my kids. It is going to affect my life with my husband because we are never getting time together because we're always busy. And as soon as he gets done with work, I got stuff to do. And I mean, it just your family will implode, and you have to protect the family. When you have a healthy family, when your family is full of energy and joy and love, it is nothing better. And in order to protect that, you have got to have boundaries. We have boundaries with our kids on date nights. They're like, "Oh, can we all just hang out?" No, because I'm about to stay married to your daddy, and if I want to do that, we have to protect our marriage. So just boundaries is just such a huge one for me. And the last one I'll say, Deborah, is just like I talked about the assessments, periodic assessments. I think it'd be great if people did an assessment every season and step
Mm.
back and say, how can I improve? Summertime is about to end. How can I improve as I'm going into the fall? How can I be better? Fall is over. It's about to end. How can I be better as I'm going into the winter? What are some new goals I really want to set? Audacious goals. Because I don't know about you, Deborah. I serve a big God and he can handle big requests and audacious goals. So
Yes.
I set those, whatever I need to do. Winter's over, spring, everything's about to come alive again. The weather's coming back. What can I do to really kill spring and make it the best spring ever? Whether it's spring cleaning or whatever, who can I get in here? So really doing a periodic assessment on how to make things just better and work smoother in your life. It's your life.
Yes.
It's if you're not living it the way you want it, it's not it's you. It's your life. You have the power. You have the control. And I think we tell ourselves the story that we don't. You don't understand. Everything's just so overwhelming. But I think if we stop making the excuses and become a star, stop,
Start.
take a deep breath, and relax. We be like, wait a second. There are some changes I can make. In fact, let me bring the Holy Spirit and God into this and we all work together on making these changes instead of me trying to do it by myself.
By
And let
yourself.
the Lord lift you up and come in and do that work and meet you where you are, where you have to stop. Let the Holy Spirit and God meet you
Mm.
and just blow your mind, really.
I mean, I tell you, you can't get by it. I mean, you can try,
Mhm.
you can dodge it, you can go do something else. Because I know sometimes I'll pray in one room and then I'll come in here and this is where I go through my reading and all of that. And then because the computer's right there, oh, Deborah, what are you supposed to be
Yeah,
doing?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, I've been there with Facebook.
Yes, but I love
Absolutely,
it.
Deborah. I did for one season. I did like a prayer walk for like it was a 2 mile prayer walk that I committed myself to doing every day, and that whole time I said, "Nope, it is time for me to recharge and get back to the basics." So every day I forced myself to be outside and I walked 2 miles, whether it was raining, cold, warm, whatever the weather was. I mean, I would just dress for it. Like, oh, it's raining. Let me put my hat on
All
and
right.
wrap up my hair if I don't want to look crazy. And I had this, I'm a black woman too, of course. I had this special rain bonnet and I would look crazy walking down the street in the bonnet. But I'm talking to the Holy Spirit and it was something that I committed. And it literally, that entire season, I mean, I did this for months, but it was such a recharge and it recentered me and it refocused me on everything that I needed to do. There was this fire that came back that was even more than
Mm.
the fire that I thought I had before when I took out that time and just committed it to the Holy Spirit. So, yes, spiritual faith, so important.
See there? Fire. Intentional. She was focused, intentional, being realistic, being herself. She wasn't worried about who else wanted to walk and pray. She was
Opposite
walking and
hair
praying
bonnet.
by herself, and she was enthusiastic about it.
People probably thought I had mental health problems, but that's okay because we're not comparing ourselves to other people.
Right. That is so right. I loved all that. That was good. And you know that sleep is a big one because people, I don't know why they think the older you get, the less sleepy. You need to get some sleep too.
You do. I think people forget when you sleep, like that is a huge thing of recharging. When you sleep, your body begins to heal itself. When a lot of times when people are sick, they say, you need to get some rest. They say that for a reason, so that your body can recharge and get back to optimal health. Yeah, so it's so important.
Yep. Yeah. So, hi Peggy, how are you? What do you do for me time?
Oh my goodness. Oh, what I do for me time?
I said, do you have any me time?
I do. It sounds so silly. So for me time, I love Golden Girls. Like I love Golden Girls. I love the Jeffersons, 227, Good Time, like all the old shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was growing up on the south side of Chicago, and when in my day and age, you watch what your parents watch. Like it wasn't, oh, you have your own flat screen in your room and you watch the cartoons. No, we had one TV, and we did not have everything my children they have, which kills me to this day because I find myself being a broken record. Like, do you know how I lived?
No,
No,
no.
you didn't know when you were a kid. You didn't know what you were missing because you were a kid, and those things I actually became really attached to. So for me, growing up, and it takes me back to being a kid where I was so free and I didn't have any responsibilities or pay bills. So for me to really relax, I watch all those shows, all those old shows after we put the kids down to sleep. And my husband thinks I'm crazy because his family obviously had more money than I did, so they had cable. I did not. So he falls asleep too. But I'm like, oh, it is like my happy place. And it just brings up so many memories. So I'll do that and I'll protect that time. So even if it means I have to stay up a little later, I force myself to have the me time of watching my favorite. Whether it maybe it's just because the kids went to bed late and we had to work on homework and Grace had more problems on math than we expected her to have. So we had to lean in a little more. Whatever time it is, after we put them down, I'm sitting down and I'm watching that show with my feet kicked up, whether it is with what we say, that hard drink, like a stiff drink, a Coke or a Dr. Pepper, like
Right.
with no kids, like no nothing, no noise, just peace and quiet. So that's definitely one thing I do to recharge. I find too, Deborah, during COVID forced us to slow down.
Yes.
Like we were just forced to slow down, and we even realized we had patio furniture in the front and on the back deck. Like we never used it. We were so overwhelmed as a family, we never sat on it like crazy, like ever once. We bought it for show, and then when the pandemic hit, you were kind of forced to find new ways. And with that, I found this perfect me time of just being outside with a hot cup of coffee and
Mhm.
saying, you know what, especially in the morning time,
Yes.
it is so important for you to reflect on your day before your day begins. Like, don't ever feel, because the enemy wants you to feel like, oh my goodness, you gotta rush, everything's crazy. Go. But you need to stop, breathe. And for me, I do that. I'll go out in the back because we have this beautiful mountain view, and I'll just take it all in with a hot cup of coffee. I have on my hot pink heart robe and bunny slippers, and I'm like, I don't care, and I kick my feet up. I don't care what neighbors are looking at me, and I'm just like taking in this God's majesty from His creation. I'm watching the birds and the mountains and the waters, and it is just the most peaceful
Nice.
me time ever. And I will get the kids dressed when I'm ready and I get in the house.
Yes. Anything you can do like that is really relaxing. But you watch those old television shows or whatever you're watching, because sometimes now it's reruns, and so I started going in the room because I got all these DVDs and pulling out movies. And I was watching Think Like a Man too, and I was just falling out laughing. I mean, but it makes you feel so good. Like you just sit there and just laugh. Like that, Kevin Hart.
It does, yeah. It Laughter is they say it, and I know it sounds cliche, but laughter it really is medicine for the soul. I mean, there are times when I'm overwhelmed with a project, and I'm gonna have to turn on a funny show even while I'm working, so that I can just laugh, so I can enjoy what I'm doing more on the way to where I'm trying to be.
It is amazing. Yep. Well, let's see here. When a person has multiple roles to perform in life, they're time consuming, like, with yourself, your family, different organizations. You got different ways to get refreshed, but then, sometimes people will get into risky things. And so then they want to get into drugs and
Mhm.
being impaired and most likely able to focus at 100%. Hey, yes, Nana.
For
In the
example, Deborah.
Okay, in the same way, people can become, oh, he opened it, can be frustrated or overwhelmed. They lose focus. It is time to stop and
Deborah, you should
recharge.
know that my husband, he's with the kids
You got a
upstairs.
lollipop and
So
continue.
he's like at the steps so we can have this conversation.
Yeah, he didn't want to show me he got a lollipop. I don't even know if you know what I said. Can you give me 5 tips on how not to get burnt out?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. That's funny though. I had a radio show one time, and it was with Ricardo Miller and through the Effective Living platform, and he found a way to make it live so people could see you, and that was kind of a crossover thing that they were doing with the show. And it was so funny because my husband was over the kids, and Gideon had just gotten a haircut, and he came in the house, and he came in the screen, and he's like, "Hi, Mr. Ricardo." I mean, like, you like my haircut? And I'm like, and we're live. So I know that life happens and it's easy to get overwhelmed, but I do actually have a couple tips. One of those tips is take a vacation, because I know everyone, they do not take vacations, or they'll let vacations pass and they're like, oh, it's fine. It's not a big deal. You need a change of scenery. It's just healthy to kind of have that, just when you are not in your normal space, or even in your neighborhood, or even in your city. And taking a vacation does not have to be expensive. You can go to the state next door. I live here in Huntsville, Alabama. So now I have Atlanta next door, and then in the opposite direction, I have Nashville next door. So we've taken a vacation to just explore Nashville, and we'll get an Airbnb, and we'll think of fun things to do. But you need a change of scenery, so it's so important. Like I said, I cannot emphasize. I probably should have said this one first. Make sure your spiritual diet is on point. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself when it comes to a healthy spiritual diet. Step back. Don't lose sight of that. Hey, I tell you to assess every season. I will assess that every week. How was my week? How's my week with God? Did I really spend time? Was it rushed? Did I really pull back and spend that time with God that I needed to? Because I promise you, this is a guarantee that I would take to the bank. When you honor God and you spend time with Him, you will see Him show up in your life in crazy ways. He knows stuff that you are not even telling Him in prayer. He knows people who are for you and people who are against you, and He will go before you for
Yes.
situations that you don't even know that is going on right behind your back, because He knows this. Oh, this is my baby. Oh, she honors me. Oh, this is my bro. He is always spending time with me and taking me seriously. He taking his business with me seriously. I'm about to take care of his business. So just, I cannot stress that enough. That is so important. So that's definitely another tip. Take a nap is one. There is research on 20-minute naps. Like, you do not have to go to sleep for hours. Like, oh, I'm so tired. If you go to sleep for 20 minutes, and whether it's have that Dr. Pepper, when I get up, I'll do a 20-minute nap. Whether it's the Dr. Pepper, the sparkling ice cold sparkling ice, or for me, a hot cup of, like, piping hot cup of tea or coffee, you are going to feel recharged. I am telling you, it is going to be like, okay, this is you, and you need that. So you don't have to throw in the towel if you have a full day and you're like, I just can't do this. Maybe all you needed was a 20-minute nap, and you just needed to stop just for 20 minutes and then kind of get back into it. So definitely think about that. Also, think of a hobby that you enjoy to do. Too often we let other people tell us what we have to do, that we don't sit and do what we want to do. I even went to Barnes and Nobles the other day because I was like, I want to read a book. Okay, I, Esther Moreno, want to read a book that has nothing to do with children's ministry. And I remember I went and I wanted this book, and it was, I forgot what the guy's name is. I think I have it over here. He was like the main character from Shazam, and he's sharing his story about how he struggled with depression, just things you would never know about him. And it's between this book and it's a Christian book. And I'm like, I don't want to read the Christian book either. I want to read this book. And I'm going through this war in my head, like, but you a Christian, you should get the Christian book that you don't want to read. And I was like, no. For the first time, I'm getting the book that I want to read, and I'm going to read it. But just like thinking about what you want to do
That's right.
for you, and doing that. I have set in stone things, that I'm like, this is taking care of me. This is a hobby. I enjoyed this. I'm going to pull back and put everything away, and I'm going to do this. Even if it's for 20, 30 minutes, maybe it's 15 minutes, and you sit and you do something. My nails are a standing appointment, and that is me time. I go get a latte from Starbucks, and I go and get my nails and my toes done and meditate and just breathe. I'll listen to Christian music in my AirPods in my ears, and it is nobody messing with me. I can't pick up the phone anyway because my nails are being done.
Okay.
It is like it's self-care. Hobbies will help you take care of yourself if you honor those hobbies. So really think about that. And then the last one I'll say, Deborah, is show yourself grace. We don't show ourselves enough grace. We need grace. I mean, like God knew we needed grace. Like that's why he sent Jesus.
Yes.
But for some reason, when it comes to our everyday, we don't show ourselves grace. He died for it all, but we still feel like, yeah, but we still gotta carry this or that. Or I mean, I know people don't let them make a goal sheet and not reach they goal. Like they will flip out and go into a depression and show no grace and say, I knew it's because I can't do this. Life happens. Show yourself some grace. If you got to pull back, I love what Ricardo always says. He says, slow down if you must, but please, please don't quit. I
That's
mean,
right.
that saying is so important. Slow down. Show yourself some grace. Maybe you thought you had enough time to do this, and you're finding out the next week, you know what? My time is crunch. I thought I had enough time to do this. Now next week, I'm gonna carve out this much time, and I'm gonna pull this out or take this away. Show yourself some grace. Correct where you need to correct, and move on, and keep putting one foot in front of the other because this is your life. This is your life. You are
Yes.
the leader in this basketball game. You got the ball, okay? So it's up to you to where you gonna go with it, And I think that is so important. Deborah, I'll tell you, my daughter just started basketball, and my son, we put them in a basketball program, and one of the most powerful things that happened that I saw while they were playing, it was new. I didn't know what to expect, but he was teaching them how to bounce the ball appropriately. It was like beginner. I'm trying to teach them those skills so when they can try out for teams, they can actually have a chance to make it. So they're like bouncing. He's teaching them how to bounce the ball, and he has his little foam board, and he's knocking the ball out of their hands because he's trying to teach them how to take control of this ball. They have the ball and how they can take control of it. And I know my daughter, she saw him coming, so instead of going straight towards the hoop, she tried to go around him, and he stopped her and he said, "Why are you going around me? It's easier." He said, "It's faster to go in a straight line, and you just need to." But she was scared because she had an obstacle that was there, and he just gave
Mhm.
her a talk about life. He said, "In life, you cannot go around obstacles. They are going to go there. You need to own your space. You need to own your life. Take that ball and go for it with full force."
Wow.
And you know what? If that ball gets knocked out your hand, you go get it and you go back.
All
And
right.
so it's just so important. I think my biggest message is take control of your life. It is yours to do as long as you are glorifying God in the process. It is yours to do and to go for, shoot for the stars, whatever it is that you feel like God has put in your heart to do. Just go for it. Just do it. As parents, we need this.
Do it.
We earn this as
Good.
parents.
Yes. That's good. That was a good tip. I like that from the coach. That's excellent.
He has a lot of zingers. Put your hand in a bucket of glue, and that glue will stick to you. I memorized a lot of them because he says them all the time. But then I realized this is so true. The people you have around you, if you have strong people around you, their wisdom, their insight, their creativity is going to stick to you.
Mhm.
And then you're gonna go off, and you're gonna be able to be successful because you're intentional with the people, with your bucket of glue.
That's right. That's right. Your community. All right. This has been so good. So, Esther, as we prepare to close, can you give us 5 or however many tips on how to recharge?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think I've said a few already, so I hope I'm not redundant. Once again, Jesus, hallelujah. Hey, the Lord ain't gonna talk to me after this Build Your Best Life platform event and say you did not mention my name
You
enough.
ain't say nothing about me.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, so I'll say that when it comes to recharging, also don't allow other people to take your joy. Don't allow offense to come in. And let me tell you something. Don't nothing steal your energy. Like wasting your time being angry on crazy stuff. I posted today because my kids always say, you mad, bro? And it makes me want to punch them in the face. It makes me laugh too because it forces you to be like, okay, some things, you can pull back, you can relax, you don't have to get all bent out of shape. And I think I've learned in life too, you never know what someone else is going through. Don't spend your energy on people who hurt you, whether intentionally or not intentionally. Just try to move forward and lead your life, living it in love. That's what I try to do. And I know it's not always the easiest thing, but it's just not worth the energy that you give. And now you got to try to recharge, and you praying and you going back to the Lord. Lord, help me,
Help me.
because you're not forgiving, because you can't let things go. So I mean, I would definitely say, um, do that. I want to emphasize when it comes to recharging, outsourcing. Really assessing and outsource whatever it is. I mean, you can't do everything. There's some things that you cannot do, and that's okay. I remember wanting to be the perfect mom and the perfect, you know, um, wife. And I remember it was so funny. I used to, when we first got married, I used to iron all of like guys' clothes, and he would wake up, and I would like cook him this great breakfast, and 'cause I wanted to be the perfect wife. And I don't do that anymore. We had kids. And he makes fun of me. But I mean, the cooking, even cooking dinner, man, I get overwhelmed, and I'm like, can you do this? Can you cook? But that was something we had to outsource. So we had to come up with a calendar. This is taco night. This is this night. This is noodle night. I don't care if it's butter noodles, ramen noodles. And we taught the kids how to make their own noodles. Guy knows how to make noodles. I had to outsource and come up with a
Yeah.
plan. We got the cleaners coming in. We got things coming. You outsource to make life easier.
All right.
So I mean, just outsource as much as you can. Even if you think you can't, I'm telling you, God will put people in your life. And I think that was my next one, and probably my last one. Surround yourself, and we were just saying this. Surround yourself with amazing people. Surround
Mhm.
yourself with go getters, with people who dream big, not people who are going to tell you your dreams are too big, or no, that's nice, but you getting older, and I mean, before I started this, my platform, Child's Heart, I speak all over the country now. I was told this was by one of my good friends, that I was being selfish, and I just need to lean into just being a mom and being there for my kids 24/7. And that was a hard thing, kind of a hard pill to swallow, because some of those people who are you think are you are the closest to will attack your dreams or become the biggest naysayers, and that hurts. But be intentional. You don't have to have those people. Those people could be around, but they don't have to. Jesus had
Bye.
people who were around. Yeah. He had people who were around, but then he had his inner circle. Make
Mm.
sure that your inner circle, those are the people who saw the transfiguration. Make
Yeah.
sure your inner circle is strong, and they dream big, and they support your dream, and they will come alongside you, and you will come alongside them. Just make sure that they are just full of. I have people who are so full of so much wisdom and creativity. I don't do anything by myself. I even book projects that I come out with. People are like, oh my goodness, Esther Moreno's done it again. I'm like, I didn't write that book by myself. Like, I got help. I talked to mentors. I got advice. People walked alongside me to help me to create. They edited it for free because they love me, to help me to create this amazing product. And it wasn't because I'm a genius and I had it all together, but I did have some amazing people. I have the most incredible inner circle around me, and I am super blessed. And I see it. I see me excelling in certain places that other people can't go because they don't have those same amazing people, and they're trying to do everything by themselves. So, yes, make sure you got some incredible people.
Yes. And I feel like I have some incredible people around me, but like you said, you will have some people and they be like, you're kind of old. Don't you think you're a little bit too old? No.
No,
Just
I'm
you're
still
older than I
right.
was last year.
It is Deborah. I've had one of our best friends passed away just unexpectedly recently, and it was just like kind of a devastating blow to us. But I'll tell you too that it was, and he loved the Lord, and I know I'm going to see him again. But it was a reminder that as long as I have breath, I don't care how young or how old I am. You tomorrow is not promised, and I want to use every day to make God smile, every day to go forth with the spirit of excellence, to do my work as if I'm doing it unto the Lord, to dream big, to see those dreams come to fruition as long as God will allow me to. So
That's right.
just yeah, you just got to just go for it, and it's your life, and it's about what makes you happy and what fulfills you. I'm a firm believer that God, he wants to use everybody, that he has an assignment for everybody, but it's
Yeah.
up to us to stay close to him so that we can figure out what that assignment is and to walk in faith, even if it means going at it and doing it afraid, because faith is you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. I've never done this before. But you just do it, you know?
Yes, and like you say, have amazing people because somebody is assigned to assist you.
Absolutely. Another zinger.
Yeah, and I love what Cynthia said. She says God gave you the vision and passion, and it isn't meant for anyone else, so they don't see what you see.
Mhm.
So that's
Absolutely, Cynthia.
right. Because
Yep. They don't. They do not see what you see. And you can let somebody who don't see the vision that God has given you tell you what to do.
right. So they be so busy in your vision, they not even hearing their own vision.
Yeah. And now both y'all stuck because you listen.
Yes, yes, yes. So I mean, this has been an amazing. I don't care who you are, what you know, what degree you have, if you got a GED or whatever, you have a purpose. You have to pray and get that discernment to find out what that purpose is. Because if God gave you that purpose, guess what? He gave you the skills to get it done.
Yep.
And I know sometimes we get scared. You gotta have faith, as Esther said, but he'll give you the skills to get it done. So you got to go out there and get it done. And when you become overwhelmed, there is a way to recharge. And you would say, start out with him. Hey,
Mhm. Yep.
here I am.
Alley.
Take me, change me. Whew. Star. I'm gonna be
Absolutely.
laughing about that all night. Oh, that's good. Well, you got to tell them what the star is, so they'll be saying, "No, what she keep
Yes.
laughing like that?"
Stop. Yeah, I know. Stop. Star. Stop. Take a deep breath and relax.
And I love that.
We teach it to preschoolers, but I had to use it as a grown up.
Hey, sounds good to me. Works for me.
It has been such a joy, Deborah. I cannot wait to be on again.
I'm so glad you've been on here. But tell everybody, I know you are, and I say this because I can see everything that you're doing just about. But tell everybody how they can reach you, how they can follow you, how they can get in contact with you if they need you to come in and assist them in their children's ministry.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me. My website is www.childsheart83.com. So a lot of my services, everything that I do, information on speaking, a lot of the books that I have out. All that information you can find on that site. But if you are on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, you can find me at Child's Heart 83, and on Instagram, Heart of a Child 83. Catch me on any of those platforms. I wonder if you can tell what year I was born. It may have been 83.
I
But
was sitting here wondering what that was, but I didn't think that was the year you were born in.
Deborah, I've been trying to find a scripture, like a powerful scripture that's chapter 8, verse 3, and I haven't found it yet.
Okay, we got to work on that. But this has been so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking the time, because I know you are busy. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time to be on with me tonight.
Absolutely. And thank you all for taking out the time and spending time with us. It is just such a joy to be with you all this evening.
All right. So please tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a coffee chat with Deborah and Carol. And our topic for Thursday is shh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be all about eliminating distractions.
Nice.
Yeah, so join us on Thursday. And and you got to join us Saturday as well. We started this about 3 months ago, conversation with the guys, and it's always a group of guys that is on this at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday mornings. For this Saturday, we're going to have Coach Ricardo Miller, Deacon Dan Smith, my husband, Pastor Basil Johnson, and Dr. Coach Kevin Wilburn.
Nice.
And we'll be on talking about how to deal with bullies from a man's perspective. You got to tune in. And it has been so amazing, the tips that these men are gleaning from their knowledge, their experience, to give over to assist our young men. So parents, grandparents, educators, whoever you are on here, get some young men on here Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be amazing. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to join Build Your Best Life. And remember, as you go through your life, you will, not if, you will run into distractions, rough terrain, and detours. Don't let any of those negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed and stay safe. See you Thursday. Bye-bye.